If Dylan Gabriel doesn't show better than he has in the first 3 outings, then Shedeur Sanders' time needs to be then. You owe it to yourself to find out what Shedeur Sanders can and cannot do. You absolutely do. And so to me, it is a missed opportunity if they stay the course with Dylan Gabriel after the bye, if Dylan Gabriel doesn't show significant improvement against the New England Patriots this weekend. Like, you asked the question, what was the point of starting Dylan Gabriel? What was the point of drafting Shedeur Sanders? What was the point of keeping him on your active roster if you weren't going to play him at some point this season? It would literally be pointless.
The second Chris Canty went live and unleashed on Kevin Stefanski, the whole NFL world stopped like someone pulled the plug on the power grid. This wasn't some light debate or harmless disagreement. Canty came at the Browns' coaching staff like he'd been holding the truth in for weeks, accusing them of straight-up wrecking Shedeur Sanders' development before it even got started. The pressure had been building for a while, and fans felt every part of it. First came Shedeur's rough debut with 0 first-team reps.
I thought that Kevin Stefanski said earlier in the year that he is focused on the development of all of his young quarterbacks. Isn't that what he said? He was focused on the development of Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders.
Then came that viral interview where he explained how off the timing and chemistry were. Then Dylan Gabriel's leaked interview dropped, exposing just how tight and tense the quarterback room had become. The whole thing was cooking, and Canty was the first national voice willing to say out loud what millions of fans were already thinking. Canty didn't tiptoe around anything. He didn't soften the blow, live on air, with the cameras locked on him. He said, "The Browns failed Shedeur Sanders before the kid ever stepped onto the field." He accused the coaching staff of sloppy preparation, bad rep allocation, and throwing a young quarterback into chaos with no plan at all. He questioned why the guy drafted to be the future of the franchise was tossed into NFL action without the basic prep any rookie needs.
For reps, you're not going to prepare.
He flat out called the lack of first-team reps unacceptable, unprofessional, and proof that Cleveland still doesn't understand how to develop quarterbacks. The clip hit social media within seconds, and Browns fans weren't mad at Canty. They were mad at Stefanski. Everything Canty said matched the exact frustration fans had been shouting for weeks. People said Shedeur wasn't being treated like the future, and the staff was acting like his development didn't matter. Reporters on X broke down every frame of the clip. Former players reposted it with comments like, "He's right, and this is a mess." Analysts started asking whether Cleveland was clueless or if they were intentionally slowing down Shedeur's rise. Fans in the comments didn't hold anything back, calling the situation sabotage, a setup, or a betrayal of the team's future. Stefanski's name was trending for all the wrong reasons. Instead of talking about Coach of the Year chatter, the headlines shifted toward Canty's accusations. Instead of talking about Shedeur's potential, everyone was asking why Cleveland was acting like he was some forgotten backup instead of the guy they drafted to change everything.
How does that make sense? Usually a backup quarterback will get 15 to 20% of the reps in practice with the first team.
Canty's eruption cracked everything wide open. Suddenly, every weird decision, every confusing rotation, every little coaching choice from the last month looks suspicious.
12 snaps, the backup quarterback will get 2 to 3. The fact that he's not is weird, and I don't understand it.
Some fans even said it looked intentional. People went back through practice notes, rep charts, and game footage trying to figure out if Canty had exposed something bigger than a tough coaching week. With one explosive rant, Canty flipped the whole conversation. This wasn't about a rookie having a hard time. This was about a franchise that looked like it was in full crisis mode, and a coaching staff now being accused of holding back its top prospect. Once Canty's clip went viral, every sports network jumped in immediately. Debate shows replayed the rant nonstop. Roundtables formed. Beat reporters and film experts started breaking down every detail of the situation like it was a playoff scandal. The Browns, already under pressure, suddenly found themselves drowning in national attention, and not the good kind. Even though a few voices defended Stefanski, the majority sided with Canty because the facts were too loud to ignore. First up, the rep distribution. Every former quarterback who talked about it agreed. Giving a rookie 0 first-team reps before his debut isn't just weird. It breaks every development rule in the book. It destroys timing, chemistry, and confidence. And when Shedeur admitted in his press conference that he hadn't taken a real hit since his Colorado days, analysts lit up instantly. They called out the coaching staff for treating him like a long-term backup instead of the quarterback they drafted to build around. Then the film experts looked at the game plan. Not only did Shedeur get no reps, but the play calling didn't help him at all. No rollouts to slow down Baltimore's pass rush, No quick-hitting screens to help him settle in. No simple reads to let him adjust to the speed.
Now, from a mental standpoint, you don't want to shake the confidence of your young quarterback in Dillon Gabriel, especially since he's been uneven across his first 3 starts. So maybe there is a little bit of protecting him to keep him from looking over his shoulder when it comes to the Shedeur of it all, because the media is clamoring for it. The fan base certainly wants to see it. Everybody wants number 12 in a Browns jersey to get out there so they can see what he wants to do, because he is one of the most polarizing figures in the NFL, mostly through no fault of his own. Maybe this is Kevin Stefanski trying to shield Dillon Gabriel from all of that. But to that, I would say, if you're that worried about the fragility of his mental state, then he's probably not your franchise quarterback anyway.
Instead, Stefanski's staff threw him straight into the fire against the Ravens, the most aggressive defense in football. Canty broke it down with razor-sharp detail. He said the staff didn't protect Shedeur mentally or physically. He said they didn't respect the reality of his transition into the league. And he said the coaching staff created a situation where Shedeur had no real chance to succeed. Former players across the league jumped in fast, backing up everything Chris Canty said with real NFL experience. Offensive linemen spoke out publicly, saying things like, "No rookie should be sent in without warnings." Quarterbacks added, "No team should treat its future like a disposable piece." Even defensive players said the Browns looked careless with how they handled Shedeur Sanders. And that pushed Canty's message even further into the spotlight. That's what made Canty's rant feel so powerful. He wasn't just talking to talk. The tape backed him up. The stats backed him up. Every questionable decision Cleveland made backed him up. Fans weren't defending Shedeur because of emotions or hype. They were defending him because the evidence was right there for everyone to see. Then the bigger question hit the conversation like a sledgehammer. Why would Stefanski do this? Some analysts said it was simple incompetence. Others said it was ego. Some even claimed Stefanski didn't want to shake up the quarterback depth chart too early. But Canty didn't buy any of those explanations. He said the Browns had no urgency, no responsibility, and no real plan for building a young quarterback. That's when fans fully turned on the coaching staff. This wasn't about favoritism or locker room politics anymore. This was about football values, philosophy, and whether the Browns even understood how to develop the guy they drafted to lead the future. Canty's message hit the league loud and clear. If Cleveland doesn't shift direction fast, Shedeur's talent could end up getting wasted.
Normally, the backup would get a certain percentage of the reps, and the fact that Shedeur isn't does raise some eyebrows as to why not. I'm wondering what the motive is here for the Browns to not make sure that he's at least somewhat ready in a God forbid type scenario if Dillon Gabriel can't go and he needs to go out there and be the starter.
As the scandal grew, the Browns found themselves dealing with a different kind of heat, the kind that shakes a locker room from the inside out. Players said practices suddenly felt tense. Coaches were quieter. Assistants looked stressed. Even veteran leaders seemed frustrated. Shedeur didn't speak publicly after his first comments, but even his silence changed the energy around the team. And when reporters repeatedly asked Stefanski about Canty's accusations, his responses didn't calm anything. If anything, they made the storm bigger. Stefanski dismissed the whole idea of sabotage. He said the rep distribution was correct. He said the staff believed in Shedeur, but the tone sounded defensive, robotic, and totally disconnected from what fans and analysts had actually seen on film. Every time Stefanski talked, fans hit the comment sections calling him dishonest and out of touch. Analysts lined up Stefanski's statements next to the film, and the contradictions were obvious. The film showed shaky protection. The film showed predictable play calls. The film showed Shedeur being pushed into high-pressure situations with no warm-up plays. And the film showed receivers running routes that take long-term chemistry, not something a rookie can magically match in 1 week. Canty saw all that too, and instead of backing off, he pressed even harder. He repeated his main points, but then he added something even more explosive, something fans weren't expecting at all. He said he believed the Browns were internally divided about the quarterback position. He said the organization didn't look aligned. He said the front office and coaching staff weren't on the same page about the team's future. And fans instantly felt like he might be right, because Cleveland's behavior was starting to look like organized chaos, drafting a franchise quarterback but refusing to prepare him.
No, I mean, with a young quarterback with Dillon starting, you want to make sure he gets a lot of the reps. Different when you have a veteran like Joe, I would tell you, but still getting reps in a bunch of periods.
Fetch, but they're clearly entertaining that. If that's a part of the math, then this is likely going to be the last start for Dillon Gabriel, unless Dillon Gabriel takes the bull by the horns and has an unbelievable performance.
Letting national media shape the story instead of controlling it themselves. not protecting either quarterback during interviews. Players inside the building reportedly respected Shedeur Sanders for being honest, but they also worried about the storm that honesty might create. This roster had already been through years of instability, and now they were staring at something even more dangerous than losing games, losing trust in the people running the team. Fans started calling for Stefanski to be replaced, filling comment sections with things like, "We need a coach who believes in the future." Every day, the Browns stayed silent. Canty's message only grew louder. This wasn't just a media scandal anymore. It was a full-blown organizational warning sign, and Cleveland looked like it was hitting snooze on it. Shedeur wasn't the issue, and the coaching staff wasn't the group being attacked unfairly. The entire structure looked broken, and Canty exposed it right in front of the whole country. As the backlash kept building, something surprising happened. More major NFL analysts started siding with Canty. Former quarterbacks, running backs, and even old-school coaches dropped their own takes explaining why the Browns' handling of Shedeur was completely unacceptable. Pretty soon, the public had reached one widely shared conclusion. Cleveland had mishandled its rookie quarterback, and now Stefanski was taking the fallout. One analyst called the situation football mismanagement. Another said Shedeur was set up to fail. Someone else pointed out that Shedeur's calm composure after the game actually proved how unprepared the team around him really was. Every new take added more heat to the conversation, and fans ran with it instantly. People started throwing around words like betrayal, disrespect, and negligence. Cleveland radio lines were packed with callers demanding accountability. National reporters began questioning if Stefanski's staff even had a real plan for developing Shedeur into the system. And the biggest question floating around was this: were the Browns quietly afraid of Shedeur Sanders' rise? That idea came from Canty's biggest and most controversial claim, that the Browns were holding Shedeur back on purpose. He didn't mean sabotage like some evil scheme. He meant sabotage in the form of resisting change. He said some coaches cling to what's comfortable, their veteran players, their familiar routines, their old systems, even if the future is sitting right in front of them. Canty said Cleveland didn't want the quarterback transition to move quickly. They wanted Shedeur quiet. They wanted him patient. They wanted him controlled. They wanted him developing slowly, not rising fast. And when Shedeur's natural leadership started showing, the staff tried to keep it contained like it was some sort of threat.
Two rookie quarterbacks, and the one that's starting has only had 3 games. I don't see that Dillon Gabriel is on the hot seat. I don't see that maybe this is his last start. I don't see that they're going to use the season to get reps for both of them. Every indication is they feel, for better or worse, they feel like Dillon Gabriel gives them the better option now and later, and thus he's the starting quarterback.
Fans grabbed onto this theory immediately because it actually made sense. It explained the timeline. It explained the reps. It explained the strange decisions. A young quarterback with charisma and confidence can shake up everything. The locker room vibe, the media coverage, the veterans' comfort, and even the coaching staff's sense of stability. And by doing all this, the Browns ended up sabotaging their own future without even realizing it. The NFL world recognized the pattern instantly. Teams in the past tried to delay quarterback transitions, and those franchises always paid the price. Cleveland looked like it was repeating the same mistakes, and Canty made it his mission to drag all of it into the light. What pushed the scandal into a whole new level was the silence coming from Browns players. Nobody defended Stefanski publicly. Nobody challenged what Canty said. And in the NFL, that kind of silence is loud enough to shake a building. The more Canty spoke, the quieter Cleveland got. And that imbalance made fans believe he was telling the truth. This wasn't just a rant anymore. It became the truth fans felt but didn't know how to say themselves. By the time the dust settled, Chris Canty's explosion had turned into something much bigger than a viral moment. It became a cultural shift inside the NFL media world. He did what most analysts never dare to do. He called out a coaching staff by name, confronted their decisions, questioned their motives, and stood up for a rookie quarterback who deserved better. And everyone reacted. Cleveland reacted, fans reacted, and even players responded indirectly with their silence. The aftermath revealed something deeper than anything people expected. Shedeur Sanders had become too talented, too respected, and too important for the Browns to mishandle anymore. His presence alone pushed the franchise in a new direction. His leadership forced accountability. His honesty changed how fans viewed the entire organization. And the reaction to his treatment triggered demands for big-time change. Canty's rant didn't destroy Stefanski, but it exposed him. It exposed cracks in the system. It exposed lazy preparation. It exposed a lack of long-term vision when dealing with young talent. And most importantly, it exposed the truth fans had been whispering for weeks. Cleveland had a franchise quarterback, and they weren't treating him like one. Now every eye in the NFL is locked on the Browns. Every practice report is being studied like film. Every rep chart is being analyzed. Every press conference is being picked apart. Every coaching move is being tracked. And the pressure on Stefanski has never been heavier than it is right now. But underneath all the chaos, something powerful is actually happening. Shedeur Sanders is earning the trust of the entire fan base. Not through touchdowns, not through wins, but through resilience, leadership, and fire. This entire scandal didn't weaken him. It made him even more respected. Fans see him as the future. Analysts see him as the future. And through his explosive defense of him, Canty positions Shedeur as a player worth fighting for. Now the Browns have a decision to make. They can adjust the system, prioritize real development, and build the offense around Shedeur. Or they can keep delaying the inevitable and deal with the backlash that will come. Because one thing is clear. This scandal didn't break Shedeur Sanders, it built him. And as the NFL keeps reacting, as the media keeps breaking down every detail, and as fans keep rallying behind him, one truth is impossible to deny. The Shedeur Sanders era has begun, and there's no going back. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to like the video, comment, share, and subscribe for more NFL breakdowns, quarterback analysis, and powerful sports storytelling.